Hi, I'm David from MKDVB, and today we're doing our reverb pedal death match. It's a shootout between the UAFX Universal Audio Golden Reverberator versus the collaboration between Meris and Chase Bliss Audio, the CXM 1978. Honestly, these these two pedals are pretty pricey, and I don't normally get on with a lot of reverb, so I don't know if I need two high-end reverb pedals. And let's just be honest here, one's high-end, which is the UAFX, and it's priced that way. And then the other one is priced beyond high-end, right? We're talking kind of stratospheric kind of pedal prices. But to be fair, I kind of feel like it's more than just a pedal. It's almost like a desktop unit, if you're going to be honest about it. I mean, it's got the automaton and the automated sliders, and who's really going to want to step on this thing, you know? But we're going to test it out. I've done a kind of a different range of tests on this reverb because I got to decide which one I want to keep. And for me, I think it's fun, you know, to kind of pull up a patch and kind of start messing with sounds. But for me, it's really important that the reverbs, whichever one I keep, sits really well in a mix and kind of takes my mix to another level. And I already know that the CXM 78 does that for me because I've used it on a previous track. And so I want to see if the UAFX can do it better. So I've whipped out my Monomachine, good old trusty Monomachine here, and an old track which I kind of started for jamming already and have never really gotten around to finishing it. I don't know if I ever will, but I whipped it out for this kind of demonstration kind of test here. And to keep it simple, I kind of wanted to isolate some elements. You can hear the full mix too, so you can really get a good feel for what it sounds like. But here's the original track, or here's dry, no reverb from either side here. Okay, so that was the dry kind of intro there to that track. And let's go roll first with the UAFX Golden Reverberator. Turn that one on, enable it on the mixer, and we're going to play that again. Now remember this having more high end. The UAFX has more high end and kind of more kind of metallic reflections. Okay, so yeah, the UAFX, so just to note here, all the tracks are going through the UAFX. I keep saying UAD, I'm not sure why, but UAFX, it's going through the Golden Reverberator, except for the bass. The bass is not, because usually I like to have that bass a little bit more solid and not kind of hazed out. Sometimes I put it through reverb, but usually not. But everything else is kind of being sent through my mixer over, my Allen Heath mixer, and I'm kind of got the reverb sends on an aux send and at varying levels, so some of the things are getting more reverb than others, so that's what you're hearing. So now we're going to run it through the CXM 1978 and see how that sounds. Yeah, there's just something about the body on this hall reverb that I really enjoy for this track, for that sound in particular, that kind of wailing feedback sound. Yeah, so which one did you think was better? Let's compare notes at the end of the video and move on to the next one. I still want some more kind of data, more examples, more tests to run, and so I decided to go ahead and add one of these reverb pedals to this tribute that I'm going to release on YouTube for Jon Hassell, who passed away recently. And he was an inspiration on some level. I really appreciated his trumpet manipulations and also his kind of respect and reverence for kind of the origins of some of his music. And so, yeah, I really wanted to just put out this piece for him, and decided to add some reverb to my dry saxophone sound. The saxophone is going through beads as well, and so you'll hear that very clearly, and that's got the eventide voice of God reverb going on the beads. But I also wanted to add a little bit more just kind of space onto my dry saxophone as well. And so I recorded 4 different tracks here, 1 UAFX and then 3 CXM 1978s, which seems to be a pattern that I seem to be drawn to, making more presets with the CXM. But let's go ahead and hear them. There's 2. The plate was on the UAFX, so I decided to do a plate on the CXM as well, so there could be a apples to apples comparison. And then the other 2 are just kind of different on the CXM. So let's just figure out which one I like best, which one you like best. If you have an idea or opinion, hit me up in the comments. And yeah, let's compare notes. Okay, we're going to start with the UAFX first. Switch over to the CXM plate. It's getting a little bit buried by the beads reverb, which is quite an ambient reverb. Let's go ahead and mute it and see how it goes. So yeah, I hear that the UAFX, I kind of set that one, and I wasn't trying to match them, so I kind of hear the UAFX kind of having more low end on the reverb, and the CXM 1978 one is a little bit brighter. I would say though I probably prefer the UAFX plate here just by a smidgen. I think I like that warmer tone. I could probably have matched the tone, but there is a little bit of a complication because on the CXM on the 1978, the bass, when you turn up the bass, it also controls the reverb time. So if you want more bass, I guess you have to turn down the treble maybe, or maybe adjust the crossover, but you don't necessarily want to just crank up the bass control on the 1978 because it will increase your reverb time. So if you have that time set, that decay at a good spot, you don't necessarily crank up the bass. Whereas on the UAFX, I think that's the way it works. It's just a tone control, and you can turn up the bass and it doesn't affect the decay time. So it's a little bit easier to kind of adjust that on the UAFX on board. I do have some outboard that I can just adjust it after the reverb, so it's not a huge deal for me, but still, it's just something to pay attention to and consider. In the meantime, I'm going to listen to these other two to see which one I actually want to use on the track.